Okay, first thing in the morning, the sun's already in my face over here, so I gotta keep my hat tipped down or I'll get blinded. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the progress of my banana plants, and then go on over there and show you my progress of my pups growing leaves after I trim them. So right over here, you'll notice that my bananas are doing well. I got pollinators all over them. These fruited nicely. These are the last ones that I had fruited. Pollinators all over the blossoms, but those are male blossoms over there right now. And going all the way up, you can see how those bananas are doing right there. Already I have these bees flying all around me, so I'm gonna go ahead and back off over here real quick. I don't know what it is with these bees here, the pollinators this morning, but when I got close like that, they just started swarming around my face. None landed on me, none stung me, but I heard them buzzing around me. Now notice over here, my replacement plant pup is coming in nicely. And on this side, I have another one right here coming in nicely. So this one's got two coming in, and this is the replacement for that. And now over here, for my praying hands, this is my replacement, and I don't see any other pups around. And then going up, see, there's still pollinators on these because they're still giving off male. They're still giving off male blossoms out of the bud. And that attracts the pollinators, which I leave because then the pollinators are in the area. And then they go over to my other banana blossoms. And that's what pollinizes the blossoms, and you get new banana fruits. But I think all those females already came out and they turned into bananas, and now there's just males coming out. So I'll let them continue for a little bit. Now going on over here to my other ones that I trimmed back just the other day. Just look for the video. I'm doing a little series on the growth and how fast I could get them to grow and how many pups I could get them to produce by the way that I take care of them. So let's go over there. Okay, so here I am, and you can see these are all pups. They're growing nicely. And down on the bottom of those pups, you'll see all baby little pups coming in. Now I'm going to get on the other side and look this way. That way the sun's not glaring. Give me a second. Okay, so over here on this plant, the other day, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 6. Well, the other day there was 5 on here. Whenever there's 5, I cut one off to leave 4. And now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could cut 2 off of those today. And the same thing with my pups. All my pups are shooting out a whole bunch more. If you look at the video, I left like 3 on my pups, and now they got 4 and 5, and I'm going to trim those. Those are making them grow faster. They shoot out and they grow wider base, and then I'll be able to separate them quicker. Now going over here to this one, you'll see it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it has 6. That one was hiding. The other day there was 5. I cut one off and there was 4. And now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to come in here and slice 2 off and leave 4. And then the same thing on the bottom. As you can see over here, I think, let me get in there. More leaves shot out. Now over here, I believe I left 3 on there the other day, if I'm correct. And if you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 shooting out right there. Can you see that one right there? Now going over to this one, same thing with the pups. They're shooting out new ones. But right over here on this one, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, the other day there was 5. I cut 1 off, and then there was 4, and now there's 6. I could trim that back. And the same thing with that one over here. Okay, if you look at this one right over here, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, the other day there was 5, and I cut 1 off, there was 4, and now there's 6 on there. So I'm going to come over here and trim that off. And you can see the same thing with this small one here. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that. And then right up here, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and trim those up. And I explain that in all my videos. So I keep that sun out right there. Okay, so I explain all this in a lot of my other videos that I do. I like for all my banana plants to grow fast and healthy and produce fruit sooner. So the way to do that, besides, I got videos on planting and how I prep the beds to get them the proper nutrients in the compost and soil, so they got a healthy base for a good root start. You got to have the roots. A lot of people concentrate on the plant. I concentrate on the roots down as I'm planting them, because the root is basically the whole plant. If you got a good root system and good compost down there, your plants are going to really do well. So once they start growing, I like them to grow quick, keep shooting out new growth out of the center. So in order to do that, when they're pups, I go ahead and I only leave like 2 or 3 on them. And when they're bigger like these, when there's 5, I cut 1 off. Then when there's 5 or 6, I cut 2 off. I always try to leave 4 on there and then let them grow. You just got to keep cutting them as they grow. It'll grow quicker and the base will get wider. Plus, with the proper fertilization, which I use compost tea, Mexican sunflower, and comfrey Bakken 14. Got plenty of it over there because I grow it, and I got a lot of barrels filled up, so it's always fermenting. But I go around once a week, and when they're fruiting, twice a week, and I give them about a gallon of it. Of course, it's 10-to-1, but I give them about a gallon of it, and they shoot out a lot of pups. So when the pups get a certain size, I separate the pups, and then I plant them, and I pot them. Well, I got banana plants for sale that I pot. Plus, when I pot them, then the roots have a chance to really get full. And then when I have the time available, because I got a shortage of time over here, then I transplant them. So, but let me show you how this is done. And once again, there's plenty of other videos. Just look at my playlist down below, and you can get a really good feel of from me digging the hole to what I put in the hole, to planting them, to the growth. It's all right here on YouTube. Just do a little bit of digging and you will see. So let me get started on that. Okay, so here I am at the banana plant over here, and this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you remember before I said you could cut them with a scissor and chop them up, but I tend to like using a machete, and I don't chop. I just go ahead and take it like this and give it a slice. Just like that. And I put the banana frond down on the ground, and then I'll come back and chop it up, because if I did it right now, you wouldn't be able to see. So when I'm doing the pups, I'll do that. So right over here, same way. They just cut nice and easily. So I removed 2, and now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 right up here on this one. And now in about another week or so, this one's gonna come out, and then we're gonna have another one. So I bet you there's gonna be 5 or 6 on here shortly. So let's go ahead and do a couple more. Okay, so I tried to set the camera up so I could do all of these instead of moving it down. So this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna cut that one right there, and that one right there, and that left 1, 2, 3, 4. And right here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on there. Well, I'm gonna shave that and leave 3 on this one. And right over here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this one. So I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to cut that off. And I'll come back through in a minute and chop them like this. You could chop them right down to the ground, and then go back after you chop them and put them around the plant. Okay, so let me go around to these. Okay, so on this one right over here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take this one right here, it's the bottom one. And I'm going to take this one right over here, that's the next bottom one. And that left 1, 2, 3, 4. Now right over here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to cut 2 off. Remember, I said it goes by the size of them, so I'll leave 3 on this. And right up over here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to take that one off and that one off for that. Okay, so once again, you take the fronds like that, hold it upside down. It's easier from the bottom, and you don't go straight. You hit them on an angle, or you cut them with the scissors, just like that. Now, if you don't have one of those and you want to do them with the scissors and you don't want to cut your fingers off with one, just go ahead and it's a little harder. Okay, just like that, they cut all the same way. Now, I'm just going to put this down for a little bit, and let's go ahead and talk about the pups. Okay, so over here, you notice I got a lot of pups. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming around. I like them to get a little bit taller before I go ahead and separate them, but I can still go around and I cut these off. They're real easy to come off. And I usually leave like 2 or 3 depending on what the situation looks like. Like here's a real small one. I'll leave 2 on that. And I'll just go around. Just like that, I trim those up. And each plant's a little different depending on what the leaves look like, but you just start on the bottom and you put them around. So then what you do is to chop and drop it. You want to chop all this up. Okay, you take the growth and you put it all around the base, just like that. Everything all around the base. Okay, so everything that I chopped is now on the ground, and I even put them in between the plants. Now that's going to break down and it's going to turn brown, it's going to decay, and that's nutrients that's going back into the ground. So I do that for all of these every time that I do that. Okay, so with that said, let me go ahead and tackle these over here. Okay, so I did the tops on all these. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the pups off. And for the pups, I'm just going to use this scissors. Okay, I don't know if you can see these right here that I did, but now I'm just going to walk around. I'm going to chop all these up. Now I'm going to take all the chop and drop. And I put the chop and drop around the base. Now, I got creepy weeds coming in that later on I'm going to come in and take out. And I also got some dollar weeds, and at the same time I'm going to use my tool and pull those out. Okay, so you get the point. So let me take the camera and show you what I did, because I still got more to go. Okay, so over here I went ahead and trimmed up the bottom and the top, and I have all this here that I need to chop up and put around the base. So I did the same thing here. I went ahead and trimmed up the fronds and came down here and trimmed up all these, and then I went ahead and put it around the base just like that. That's called chop and drop, and I basically do that every time I come out and I see. So, you know, once a week or so when I come out and I notice that they're getting thick up there again, I cut them off and I do that, and I just repeat and repeat and repeat, and that has the growth happen a lot quicker, because the plant knows how many leaves it has on that. Remember, a plant is living. It's a living plant, and it's got a brain or an instinct, and it knows how to grow, and it knows how to give off pups. That's all it does. If it's healthy, it grows. It gives off pups. And then its purpose is to go ahead and bear fruit. So that's how you get bananas quicker. So if you see, as I go around, right over here, I chopped and dropped those. I got to come in and do a little weeding. I'm going to go get my tool. And right over here, I chopped and dropped that. And I chopped these. I didn't go ahead and put them around the base yet. So what I'm going to do right now is go get my tool and get rid of some of these weeds. Okay, first things first. Whenever I get down low over here, because I'm by a pond, I look under here and behind the log, make sure there's no moccasin curled up so it strikes me. But at the same time, I wear boots, so if it strikes me in the boots. But when I'm crouched down like this, it could strike me in the ass. So I gotta watch where I'm crouching down at. Okay, so this is one of my all-time favorite weeding tools because you can get in and under and you can scoop sideways. It does not cut the roots, it pulls it from the bottom. So this is how I do it. I try to look for where it's going in the ground, and then I pull it up like that. Once you lift up your weeds a little bit, you can follow it down and see where the root is going into the ground, and then you can get the root like that. Okay, that's it. Those are done. Now over here, I'm going to move my chop and drop because I noticed some dollar weeds. See these dollar weeds? Well, they're usually hard to get because they grow long roots like that. So with this tool, you get down under them and you come sideways, and it pulls them all out. And this is why dollarweed travels. Look, roots, it travels underneath and comes up. And this tool gets down under them you can get under the roots and pull it. Then you just move everything back like that. Dollarweed. Okay, now I put my chop and drop all back around there. I got some more right here. Whenever I see dollarweeds, I make sure that I pull them out. Here, this is a pile of weeds that I just pulled out. Well, I could just leave them right over here and let the sun dry them out. Okay, this whole area is done. I got some of these out over here. See, I got some of these things in here Look, let me change hands. These get under there and grow too, so you look for the root and you pull those out like that, because they overtake an area too. You just do this and you look for where the root is in the ground and you pull it out, and you can see where it's traveling from, like over here, and you can get the whole thing. Okay, so over here, let me move this. I got some more dollarweed right over here. Okay, so when there's dollarweed, you gotta get them. So if you go in and you pull, you get the roots like that. Put all this back. Okay, dollar weeds like this, they grow sideways like this, shallow. So when you go down under, you're scooping up and getting the leaves. You're scooping up and getting the roots. Okay, so anyway, I got out all these weeds utilizing this tool right here. It's my all-time favorite tool. I use this the most because it gets the root and all. There'll be a link down below if I remember and you can get it. If not, just ask me a question and I'll tell you about it. Okay, so relatively I have these done. I got to go ahead and chop up a couple more over there. But you get the point. That's how I take care of my banana plants. Look for some of my other videos and you can see how I plant them. You can see how I fertilize them. And you see how I could get them to grow quicker. Okay, those of you that know me, I normally, when I do my videos and shut that off and walk around, when I see other stuff I need to do, I got bonus footage that I put on all my videos because I'm working over here. This is my acreage that I go ahead and permaculture and garden and hugelkultur every single day. So I bring my camera with me and you're actually seeing me do my job. I am working it to get everything to grow and fruit and do really great. If you look at all my garden tours, you'll see I have like the ultimate garden. It's like a commercial garden. So let me go ahead and trim these up, and I got some weeds under me and I'm going to show you how they pull out these type of weeds. Before I chop these up, I trim that, but I want to get some of these weeds before I go ahead and chop those up because I'll be putting them on the weeds. Okay, so here's a good example of weeds that are coming up. And if you let them go, those are seeds. They're just going to keep multiplying. So what I like doing is I get down under them and I pull the root and everything out, just like that. If I didn't get under them and pull up, then I would leave the roots behind. Once again, this goes under and goes sideways and pulls up those roots. Just like that. See all the roots? Now if I want to pull these out, I'm going to leave roots behind. So it looks like I'm pulling, but I'm not pulling. I'm just pulling from the bottom and got my hands on this. Look at that root. Okay, now I just push all this, all these chips back. Okay, so basically I do that whenever I'm out here and I see them growing around. I start from my banana plants out, and I only do a little bit at a time. I try not to kill myself because it's too hot. I can't wait for this cooler weather to come. Whenever it's a cool morning, I'll go gun-ho out here because I'm cool, but in that hot weather I just do a little bit at a time. So let me go ahead and chop this around the base, and then I'm going to secure my bananas on the top of the banana plant so it doesn't pull over the banana plant. Let me get at it. Okay, so I have these bamboo. It's right over here. I'm gonna go get a drill a hole, put a piece of wire in it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got some wire and I got a drill. And I have some bamboo over here. So what I like doing, somewhere is right about down here where it gets thicker. I can even put that up till they're about the same thickness, just like that. I go ahead and I drill 2 holes. Okay, just like that. Now that I have 2 holes drilled, I take a piece of wire. I always have wire around, galvanized. Make sure you get yourself some. I go ahead and I put it that straight through like that, and put this straight through like that. Then all you gotta do is come around here, cut this off, give it a couple little twists like that. Okay, so now you got 2 pieces together. And you can take them like that and make a little fork in here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I have my banana hands right over here. Those are called praying hands bananas, but if they were any kind of bananas, they're called banana hands, so I got those over here. And they're gonna weight down my banana plant, and if a strong wind comes, which is a lot of wind around here, I'm by the beach, it'll push it over because of the weight. And even if there was no wind, a lot of bananas usually pull down a banana plant and they'll break, and then you lose your bananas. So what you do is you take this like a tripod and you put it right here, just like that. And now this tree is supported right here. Okay, so up here, if my banana plant gets heavy because of the fruit and wants to pull down the banana plant, this is supporting the banana plant. See right here, I have it supported from the ground. all the way on up, and it's supporting the tree, or supporting the banana plant. So when those get heavy, you can see it right there. Right there. So that's how I support my banana plant. So whether your banana plant is a real tall one like this and has a lot of banana hands on it, or it's a small pup plant like this that bears fruit and the stem is real thin, I still support it just like that. You see this? Whether they're short or whether they're tall like that, that's how I support them. Now that's real long bamboo because I got it down there in the water and up towards the plant. I may go ahead and redo that eventually, but for now, that's really good. So now this one, right up here, okay, if you can see in the photo, this plant, banana plant, is leaning because of the fruit over here, and that plant is leaning because of the fruit. And they're leaning in the direction of the fruit because the fruit is already pulling them down. Can you see that? So I have this one braced up, and I have that one braced up, but I have nothing braced on this one yet. So let me get some bamboo. Okay, so I got some bamboo from my bamboo pile. So what I do is I try to take off all the growth like that, all the way on down. These are extremely long, so I'm going to cut off the bottom with a sawzall in a little. Okay, let me get my sawzall. Okay, so I got my sawzall, and what I want to do now, at the top of bamboo, or anywhere's down a bamboo, you see these lines. On this side and this side of that line is hollow. And this is a solid spot. So what I like doing is you go down and you go on this side of the solid spot. So when you cut it like this, this is solid right there. No water's gonna get, when it's up like this, no water gets in there and rots it. That just stays solid. Now if it was on this side, this would fill up with water. So that's how I cut them. Another thing, when I was stripping those down and pulling them, those parts that come out, they cut you. So whenever I get a cut, no matter what kind of cut around the garden, because dirt gets in, I'm always working in dirt, I put Benadine on it, then I wipe off the Benadine, I put Neosporin on it, and then I put a Band-Aid around it, and that will stop infections. Benadine is the best thing to prevent infections. The Neosporin heals it. Ugh. Okay, same thing with that. I got the solid spot right there. No water's going to get in. Now, same thing. I'm going to take my drill and some wire. Put the wire through it. Snip it off and just tie them like that. That's it. Now the bottom part, because these are long, okay, I'm gonna have to give these a cut. So this looks like a good spot to cut this one right here. Same thing with this. Okay, once again, solid on the bottom. So now I'm going to secure that one up. Okay, so now I'm taking the bamboo and I'm going to have to be gentle. There's a lot of pollinators on that. I don't want to piss them off. Okay, that banana plant here, this is secured here, and this one, like that, is secured up there. Now that plant, as the bananas get heavier, as they get wider and more plump, they're not going to pull over the plant, and when I get winds whipping through here, it's not going to fold over the plant. So that's what it looks like over there. It comes down like that, and I got that stretched down. Right there, that's how they look. And I disturbed the bees, the pollinators, and they're flying around me, but they're still not bothering me. They can just see that I'm working here, but they didn't like me shaking it. Okay, so there you have it. That's how I prop up and secure my banana plants so they don't fall over by the weight of the fruit and you break your plant and you lose your fruit. So Anyway, I hope you learned something. You don't have to do that with bamboo. You could use PVC pipe, you could use anything, even tree branches, just so long as it holds it securely like that. So with that said, catch you later. Okay, so in my hookah culture area, I have some weeds coming up in the center, and it's a really good big thick batch, and I want to show you how this tool works. Okay, so you pull up and you try to see where the root's going to be at. Then you get under and you pull. Always try to let this do the pulling. Now I can come in here with the tractor and just lift it up, but I want to show you how this works. Okay, so as you can see, that was a big pile. It was deep rooted. Okay, so as you can see, those are the type that take root and they travel and they keep rooting, and eventually it will take over the whole area. So with a little bit of work, I basically pulled out the roots. There's probably still some in there. So now I'll come in here with the tractor and I'll put more chips down over it, and it'll smother it, and no more is going to grow up for a long time. Same thing with all this and all that. But anyway, for the video, sun's coming out. It's getting a little too hot to do this. I could do that on a real cool overcast day. I just want to add that to the video. So you could do small little clumps, or you could tackle big clumps like that. This is a great tool. And when I do this and I pull, I'm just holding. I'm not really pulling with this. I'm pulling with that. And once I feel the root separated, then I can just lift it. Back at you.